G'day, welcome to yet another episode of Feel a Singer podcast. I don't know why I always sound surprised every time I announce that, but here we are, episode 29, and I'm so excited because I have the legend, Spoony Joe, otherwise known as Amy Lou Dzufer, here, and it's honestly, I've been wanting to interview Amy for bloody ages. So Amy is an artist, she's a musician, she's a shiatsu practitioner and energy Reiki healer, and she is what I often refer to as the Renaissance woman. She does everything and is good at everything, and I also love her so much. She's my soulmate, and thank you for being here on the podcast, Spoony Joe.
Thanks for having me. What an introduction.
Oh. And yeah, so listen, I think the reason why I wanted to interview you, well, one, you're very interesting, but two, there's so many different reasons why I wanted you on here. But just this week, I've been talking a lot with the Feel a Singer membership about creativity and making your creative practice. Are you there, Amy?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Making creativity your life's work, even though you have to, you have your actual 9 to 5, or, you have to pay mortgages, you have to look after kids, how we can still make creativity our life's work. And yeah, you have made creativity your life's work. And it's been a bit of a process because even though you've always, made art and you've always been a musician, you've in the past struggled to call yourself an artist. So so let's take you back to when you were little. You used to draw all the time and put on concerts, and so where from when you were young and you were really, this is what you love to do for the joy of it, where did things sort of go a bit awry for you in terms of, calling yourself an artist, even though that's what you did and that's what you loved?
I think because I thought you had to study art to be like go to art school or whatever, and I never did. And then I think that was the main thing, and that you various times you can't make money. Like I specifically remember going, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was like, an artist. And then the retort was, you can't be an artist. And I was like, oh shit, what am I going to do? I was like, hairdresser, marine biologist. No, that was the things that all the kids wanted to do at our school anyway. I did want to be a hairdresser too, but that's another story. Well, actually, I guess I am kind of a hairdresser.
You've cut my hair many a time and done a very bloody good job.
Yeah. And that's another thing after, like, I wouldn't be a salon hairdresser, but I definitely can do a pretty good haircut in different styles. But now that, it took me to go, oh, I've had 20 years practice, and the same for the artist thing. I've had 20 years more practice, and you go, okay, I had to do a lot of reflecting and stuff to go, what makes you not an artist? Like what are you doing that you can't call yourself an artist? And it was like I had to dig deep into self-confidence stuff, and it doesn't matter what people said, like anyone could say anything, and at the end of the day it was me that I didn't feel like I was good enough. And still I'll go, oh it's not good, and I'm like, hang on, bro. That's on YouTube. All the kids watch the bro. That like you're never good enough until you say you're good enough. And who cares? Like no one does what I can do, and I can't do what other people can do, and I can't even replicate my own drawings. So I think I said that to you the other day, that I was like, oh yeah, I took for granted that I'll get in the flow and just I can smash out a whole heap of stuff and then go, I'll just do that again. And sometimes I can do stuff again, but there's sometimes, and it seems really simple, like the simplest things to do again, I couldn't do it. I was like, shit, I can't even copy my own work.
So if you get a Spoony Joe, you can guarantee it's original. It will never be replicated again. I don't know.
But
There's some
anyway.
pretty I don't know. Fingers crossed. I just went dark. I was like, as long as no one copies your work, like you know how.
Oh, people can copy, and I think
Yeah.
I don't know who someone said it somewhere that people can copy you because a lot of times people will ask, "Oh, if you put your work on the internet, can't people rip it off?" And I haven't never been I've never been scared of that because no one's ever done it. But if that's just that was the thing that I went, oh, that's never stopped me from putting stuff out there. Like I've always kind of forced myself to put stuff mostly like online. That was a thing that I struggled for ages to even do that, but still did it. And like every post would be super uncomfortable and I get super nervous. And now the nervous part is like doing a video. Boom, boom, boom. No, it's all right.
You've always had the mentality there's more where that came from anyway.
Oh,
As
yeah.
long as I've known you. So to you it's just like, oh,
Yeah,
about
yeah. If someone rips that off, there is more where that came from.
Yeah.
But usually people, I guess it comes down to if maybe you're massive and you're making heaps of money and a like brand rips you off or something like that. I don't know, but I don't. There was, you know,
can
you
cross
can't.
that bridge when you get to it, mate.
Oh yes, come and rip me off. Here's my email.
Yeah.
That no one can like copy your essence.
No, absolutely, so true.
So yeah, they can copy your drawings,
but
they'll never take your cell.
No, it won't. It won't be the same. Absolutely not. So yeah, really, you just one day gave yourself permission. You just went, "Yep, I'm going to call myself an artist."
Only like 3 weeks ago. That was out loud. I ousted myself.
But I love what you said about like it's been like a gradual progression for you with sharing your work on social media. Like you started.
Oh yeah, even to people. I wouldn't even like show other people my stuff. I send my friends text messages, and then I was like, hang on, if you can share it with them, like they're probably sick of seeing the same shit all the time or whatever. Yeah. That's probably me talking to myself. I'm sick of seeing my own stuff. But yeah, then to go on to social media, and I've tried websites and I've just never found that, like, I was like, didn't really do anything and just.
And just to give listeners context, so Amy has started putting her artwork. You can buy her original artwork. You can buy prints. And you can also buy a T-shirt with her artwork on it. And she sells through her Instagram account. So, and I love that because you've always, like, you've tried different things like the cartels, but you find that there's more of just a real kind of genuine connection. Well, there is.
Yeah.
You get that more from Instagram.
I can't pick what people like. Things that I like, people like, but and sizings are so random that
you need that connection and to be able to talk to the people. Like
things that I go, oh, people love this.
Yeah.
I'll buy 10 and no way, I wouldn't have sold them. So it's better to leave it open and then, you know, people ask when they're ready and whatever. Yeah, doing the pre-order stuff has been cool because you do connect with all the people that purchase stuff. Love you guys. But and then also doing like I thought I could do a drop ship, which is order as you go or whatever, but then I can't do like handwritten notes and like making little name tags for every single one.
I love that. Nice. I love getting a Spoony Joe t-shirt because I always get, you know, it comes with your name hand drawn on it and you're like,
yeah, well, it reminds me of Christmas presents.
I've got so many of them on my fridge now, just my name, and people think I'm like myself. It's actually, I just love my friend who drew it. Just by the way, so if you want to go and check out Amy's work now, just go to @SpoonyJoe. So SPOONYJOE, but I'll put in the show notes anyway. But what I loved about that, Amy, is because you tried everything and you're like, actually, I can just keep this super simple.
Yeah, that was what was confusing me
Yeah.
too. I felt overwhelmed by doing like, what do I put on a shop? You can only put 10 things for this price, and you can invest in yourself and do a big website and do things like that. But for me, it just was never working. Yeah,
But yeah,
simple's good for me.
yeah. And I think also through this process of one, naming yourself, yes, I'm an artist, and two, starting to share it with people, you've really discovered how you like to operate. Like you definitely like to keep things simple. You definitely forge your own path. You're not like anyone I've ever. You do things your own way. Like, has that always been the case? Have you always been like, you've always forged your own? You've never really
Probably.
followed trends. I mean, you not really.
Yeah, I suppose.
You're trendy,
Oh,
and
yes.
but you're unique.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what else have you discovered about yourself in this process of one saying, okay, I'm going to take this up. This is who I am. This is what I do.
Well, just that it was me. Like, I was my biggest critic, and I was my biggest, like, self-confidence keeper downer. If it's, whatever that is.
The Debbie Downer.
Yeah.
You were the Debbie.
I had to get over my own humps to be able to, and to, like, really dig down to go, oh, dude, you're all right. Like to be hanging out with you. Why can't this? So I'm saying, like, hanging out with you, I'm just myself, and then why can't you be like that on everywhere else? I don't know. It's part of.
We had years of practicing.
Like 10
putting
years.
face to camera. We'd FaceTime each other. Well, we still FaceTime each other every single day. we got good at the whole kind of seeing our face.
Yeah, it's different. I think it's too that even thinking about, like, oh shit, what am I going to say to you on here? Even though I talk to you every day, that pressured. It's not even this. I don't feel pressured to do this, but what am I going to say? It's like, oh, I still have to go. Yes, say whatever. Who cares?
So
what if I say the wrong thing?
So what would you say to somebody that's like, yes, I do artwork and I want to start sharing it on social media, but they're feeling like, ooh, a bit constricted.
Just do it and message it to yourself. Like, before you do a post or whatever, send a text. If you haven't got any friends to send it to, send it to me.
Send it to me. We'll be your friend.
Yeah, good job. Or find someone that can go, yep, good job. Because not everyone will say that, and not everyone likes your stuff. And I've learned that. I always like, come on, please tell me I'm so good. And then people won't. They'll be like, nah, that's shit, or that's not my style. But that was one thing. That's the biggest thing that I can say is, if you like what you've done, then it doesn't matter if anyone else likes it. But also, if you like it, someone else is going to like it because they like you. There's someone out there that likes you.
Yeah. And just bringing this back to singing. So obviously, Amy is actually a singer and a musician. We're obviously talking about her sharing her artwork through social media. But, if you're a singer, musician, like, start, recording yourself playing, singing, and then, like Amy just suggested, send it to a friend, but someone that is actually going to say something nice. Like, choose your audience. When we
choose... you can, if you, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, when we choose people that we know are going to be critical, that's self-sabotage. Like, that's a way of resisting.
Yeah. I had to stop sending stuff to my parents because they're not my audience, and they would say like, it was all right, even though I'd be like, that's awesome. But then you have to learn to go, oh, they're not my people, or not my people, but not my.
They're not going to buy your artwork.
They're not. No.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Or they're not going to buy your tracks or whatever. Or they'll probably pay to come and see you sing. Unless they're complete sociopaths. No offense to anyone who doesn't go to kids' gigs.
No, well, that's it.
Yeah. So yeah, so we've already covered some really big stuff. You gave yourself permission to call yourself, this is, who I am, this is what I do.
Oh yeah, I had to practice that too in conversations.
Yeah.
People say, "Oh, what do you do?" I'll be like, I used to just say, "Oh, I'm a mum." Like, ooh. And I never felt like I like being a mum, but I never felt like, ooh, that's the only thing that I am.
Well, that's one part of who you are.
Yeah. And then it took ages to do that too, to go, oh, I'm a musician. And I was okay with being a musician, but I was like, ooh, artist. Like, oh, what do you, I think I thought you had to either sell a $10,000 piece or something like that to be an artist, or to be, I don't know.
You had to, quantify
proper
with yeah, absolutely. That's another block for a lot of people, is they think that they have to be, it has to be a profession, it has to be your career, but you can actually just be an artist and just do art for yourself. You don't even have to share it with other people if that's not what you want to do. The second thing is you worked on, starting to share it and, getting over the fear humps around sharing it. So what are some of the processes that you use? Like, have you used any modalities that have helped you with that?
What do you mean?
Like, meditation.
Oh,
yeah,
everything. Yep. Meditation, journaling. That's a big one. When you don't, if your friends have heard the same story, or you're sick of your own same story, just write it out, and you can write for ages and ages and ages. And like, I always thought, oh, what if someone reads it? Who cares? It's their fault if they read it.
Yeah. That's a good
what else has helped? Tapping. Love tapping.
So EFT.
To do that. Yeah, EFT tapping. Stretching. Heaps. What else? I don't know. Basically anything out there that is self-help. I've had a crack.
You've used it all. The other thing too I want to mention is that you actually, years ago, probably about 10 years ago, I think you properly taught me that permission of play, like of just sitting down, and I'd go, I don't know what to draw. Like, I've always been a bit stunted when it comes to, doing anything arty, with pen and paper or paints or whatever. And you're just like, mate, just start scribbling. Just get your hand and do this with a color. And then I was like, oh, and then it like brings you back to childhood. And and it's like, oh my God, this is it. You just have to give yourself permission to play.
Yeah.
You've always been really good at that. Like, you just give yourself permission to do the thing. You painted your freaking fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, you made it like gourmet-esque. It's beautiful. It's like pink with all these like, bright patterns over the top of it. Just, you do really cool things like that. And also, you're super prolific. Like, you just churn it out. Like, it just...
Yeah, I thought that was something that everyone does. I don't think they do.
No.
And I took that for granted too. And then there are times where I think I had to stop and go, oh, just because you can, like, I could paint this giant big canvas, or I used to paint my house all the time. Be like, oh, I'm not going to paint the canvas. I'll just paint a wall and change the colors, because I feel like colors can enhance your vibration or whatever, or your energy, or depending on how you're feeling. Or if you want a space, makes it warm or cool or whatever. But I'll do that all the time, and then be like, oh shit, I just painted a whole friggin' wall, like up to the roof. We had a really tall house, and not think of that was something to do, and do it in like school hours. And then same with painting big giant canvases. I'd just do it and go, what am I going to do? Just do it. Don't like even think about it. Because I think sometimes I'd draw things beforehand and paint over them, but mostly I just go, ready, set, just go. And if I stop, I'll get in my own way and then go, oh, what should I do? And I did that for years and years and years, and I still do that. But then also learnt it's okay to not finish something in one go either.
Mm.
So sometimes I went, oh, what? People work on something for like a year? What the hell? And that was the same with songwriting too. Like, I always thought you had to finish a song, and you don't. You can like write half a song and then go back to it if you want to, or you don't ever have to. You don't have to finish anything if you don't want to.
Yeah, that's it. That's right. Actually, Amanda Cook, who's this brilliant poet who Spoony Amy knows, she bought some incense off him.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. So she said last night in our class, Fearless Singer membership class, because we're talking about creativity and how to make it your life's work, even though you've got a million life things to do. She said it's about returning. She said you do the things, but yeah, she sees it as a thread, and you just keep returning to where you left off.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, and I thought that was amazing. It's like, yeah, just like keep the thread going, even if it's weeks and weeks you haven't.
That's a good visual too.
Just come back. I kind of liking this a little bit too much.
Yeah, it's good though, but that gives you like, if you go, where was I? I can't remember. Like picking up your stitch. Yeah, I'll just keep sewing my creativity of life.
I did say Amanda Cook, didn't I? I just tripped out thinking, I hope I said her name.
Nah, correctly. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, you might want to follow her as well, at Amanda Cook, because she's amazing. Her poetry is amazing. Oh, mate, there's so much to talk about.
Yeah, I feel like I was like, I don't even know what I said. You probably went off on some weird tangents.
Mate, you've put down some pretty solid gold pieces of wisdom. Let's just, because I've only got 8 minutes until actually Amanda comes for her singing lesson.
Cool.
Yeah. So you've just recently moved from Brisbane to rural Victoria. Do you find that just that tree change of kind of like, because you've really, it's a much simpler lifestyle in the country. Not that you don't have to navigate a lot of the hecticness of the city life. Has that enhanced creativity? Has that helped?
Well, because we are staying with my parents and I didn't have my stuff set up. So before I just had access to all my things, it made me learn a different style of doing creativity. And I don't know when I realized it, but I pretty much every day for me need to do something creative. And for a while it was cooking, because I couldn't get to my things that I liked to use. What is that called? Not products.
Oh, like your guitar and all your
materials,
your materials, your paintbrushes,
whatever it is.
Yeah,
my tools.
Your tools. Tried.
Yeah, even instruments were all packed away. We had, which is weird. Like I took for granted that I always had access to things, and then had to get creative about getting creative. So it would either be in the garden for a bit, and in the kitchen, and then like just drawing on scrap paper. But then I think my sister was a good one that said, what do you do with all your stuff? Like, do you just have piles and piles of drawings? And I was like, do I? I do. But also it's sometimes like I'll do an epic drawing or something on a scrap piece of paper that I've got, or I like reusing stuff. So it'll be on cardboard or whatever is around, and then just take a photo of it. So then I don't have to keep it, but I can look at it if I like it. Or sometimes I'll do something and go, oh, that's so shit. And then 2 days later, give yourself space and then go, oh my God, what were you thinking?
Mate, just in like 2 minutes, you've just put down some really like key pieces of wisdom. One is that you don't have to have all the stuff to be creative, and you can look at other things to do, like cooking, just, finding the creation in little things that we do. Two, just being resourceful with what you have, and just create for the sake of it. And 3, you don't actually have to keep it. You can just take a photo of it and enjoy it later. Oh, and 4 is that when you do something and you're not too, you're like, giving yourself time, like, and space, like, you know, away from it and then come back to it. I'm like that with old tracks that I've recorded.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
past, where I've gone,
If you're not feeling...
and then I go back and listen to it like years later. I'm like, my God,
yeah, what was I
thinking? You were great. Yeah. So that, like, or honestly, it's only been like a 20 odd minute interview, but there's so many pieces of good advice through here.
Well, that's good. I do feel like I'm going like, oh man, what are you even saying? But that's another thing of, that's one of those things where like that critical...
the critical mind that comes in and wants to have a go. It's like,
you don't know what you're saying.
It's like,
whatever.
Mate, whatever. Yeah. And, you know, and that's the thing. Like, it's amazing. People will be drawn to different parts of the conversation and will take something, you know, unique from any conversation that is, you know, resonant to them and where are they on their journey. It will help them for wherever they are on their journey. Let me speak English. I just had a critical mind moment then too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyhow, I better go. I don't want to go.
It's all right, mate. You go.
Keep talking to you for friggin' hours like we normally
Short one's
do.
a good one.
Yeah.
And thanks for getting me to do this too. I feel like
really there needs to be a part 2 and a part 3 and a part 4.
Oh, yes, because you love me.
It's true, I do.
Oh, I love you too.
Anyhow, so this is Amy Dzufer. Please follow her, give her some love over at Spoony Joe on Instagram, and check out some of her amazing artwork. And also maybe put in an order for a T-shirt. I'm so excited. I've got 2 coming in the post.
Oh, yeah, look. There you go.
That's one of them. Yes. I've got that, but I've got it in the white.
Yeah, I was going to say you should put yours on and we can be like a
the next podcast
yin-yang mirror.
Well, exactly. Cool. All right, mate. Thanks so much. And
thanks for having me.
Joining us. Thanks for listening.
I'll talk to you. Love you. Bye.
Love you too. Bye.